Welcome to Bankable. I'm Renata, your host and a proponent of innovative technology and financing solutions for AI infrastructure, decarbonization, and energy security. This is the first Bankable podcast to showcase a chapter of Women in Nuclear, represented by three delightful representatives from WIN Ukraine. Why the interest? With up to 55% of Ukrainian electricity needs reportedly met today by 4 nuclear power plants, comprising 15 fission units generating 13.8 megawatts of power, this nation has relied on nuclear power since 1977. Its fifth plant at Chornobyl, and no longer operational, is somewhat synonymous with the nuclear energy conversation. According to the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, one may certainly visit the site of the Chornobyl nuclear power plant, including the exclusion zone, which is a 30-kilometer radius. The invasion of the country's borders on February 24, 2023, disrupted global energy sources, spiked electricity prices, and has since evoked a reckoning by many nations of the concept of energy security. The three guests in this episode not only showcase resilience, but highlight how they envisage their nation playing a leading role in nuclear development, gigawatt and modular, by highlighting the value of collaboration in science and technology without borders. Nuclear, not just technology, but an opportunity to invest in a better, safer, more inclusive future, to quote one of our guests. And here's a thought for consideration: SMRs in the Chornobyl exclusion zone. Do consider reviewing the books, published material, exhibition, and podcast referenced in the conversation. Resilience, not just a concept. We cannot pause our lives. We know exactly the price of this life. Enjoy the conversation, and no, it's not just you holding back the tears of admiration for these incredible women. So, welcome all of you to this exciting podcast with the ladies from Ukraine. Let me go straight into it and ask each of you to tell us who you are and what is your current profession and a little bit about your current history. So give the audience a sense of literally who you each is. So let's start with Renata. Renata, tell us who you are.
Hello to everyone. Thank you, Dorit, for invitation to take part in this podcast. My name is Renata Iaresko. I am founder and CEO of consultation and communication agency CommsTrue in Ukraine, but my previous experience was in nuclear energy. It began from my science work at postgraduate education, and started and continued in a big company, national operator in Ukraine, Energoatom, where I built a career from lower position to middle head of department, and I left my job last year in Energoatom, and where I took position head of public relationship. That's why I worked a lot with information, with strategic communications, and this year I took part in WIN Global Conference, and where I understood that I fell in love with nuclear energy, and I'm missing for this sector, this area. But now I'm, self-made expert, which can help to everyone who wants to get some knowledge, get some information about nuclear energy. And that's why I'm here.
Brilliant. That's really lovely to have you on, Renata. And let's move on to Alona. Alona, you were the second person I met at Win Global. So looking forward to hearing a bit about you.
Hello, Doreen. It was really nice to meet you at Win Global Conference. My name is Alona Zavorotnia, and I'm a software engineer in the INC department at the South Ukraine nuclear power plant. I've been working in this field since 2011. My focus is on level 2 and level 3 instrumentation and control systems, mainly the human-machine interface that shows real-time data to control room operators. I support software, databases, and reporting systems that are critical to plant safety. My journey started with a technical degree in automation and control system from the National Technical University of Ukraine, Kyiv Polytechnical Institute, where I qualified as an engineer in automated production control systems, followed by many years of hands-on experience at the South Ukraine nuclear power plant. Over time, I've added new skill like cybersecurity through international training supported by the US Department of Energy. I now apply the knowledge I gained to help implement national cybersecurity requirements for information and communication system used in technological process. I'm also a committed member of Women in Nuclear Ukraine. This international community has a strong influence on my growth, giving me access to learning opportunities and a network of inspiring professionals. Outside my technical role, I'm active in Ukrainian Nuclear Society in Women's section, where I take part in organizing lectures, workshops, and charity events that support women's personal and professional growth and community building events. So this information about me, about what I'm doing in nuclear field.
Brilliant. Thank you so very much. And that's a perfect segue to the third lady that we have on our show, Margaryta. Margaryta, tell us a little bit about who you are personally and how your career has brought you to where we are right now.
Hi, Doreen. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you for having me here at your wonderful podcast and this opportunity to tell the world a little bit about myself and our mutual work with my colleagues, Renata and Alona. Talking about myself, my career in the nuclear field started soon after I graduated from the University of International Relations in 2013. And I started my work as a nuclear professional at the State Agency of Ukraine on exclusion zone management, when I successfully led cooperation with the NATO, IAEA, global partnership countries, EU, and so on. So I worked there quite a long time, for almost 8 years. After that, I had some break. But it was not all my story, because in 2020, in June, I established the Ukrainian chapter of Win Global, Win Ukraine. So I'm the very first president of Win Ukraine, running for this position for already 5 years. So my academic background includes international relations, as well as atomic energy, nuclear materials, accounting and control. So I think I've been quite a dedicated professional. And again, after a long break, I'm looking forward to coming back to this sphere and again work with the State Agency of Ukraine on exclusion zone management and support our country in such difficult times of crisis, war, and so on.
Incredible. Just hearing a snippet of each of your lives just shows the depth and breadth of your professional lives, but it also demonstrations that are just coming through from each of your stories. So right now, I'm quite keen to have each of you describe your exact job right now. You know, what exactly does your company do? What is its technology, its business, its product, its service? Give us a detailed, but obviously a layperson's description, because obviously you ladies have so much wealth of knowledge sitting in you. Describe it in simple terms, what each of your job does. Let's start with Renata.
Well, now it's that I changed my job, and that I said now I have own agency. That's why I helped. I'm helping different kind of companies with communications, with in strategic level and crisis level, also with sustainability, ECG, how to provide this type of works and in different kind of areas of economy, especially if in nuclear energy. I'm also helping with communication and development in Ukraine, and I think that's my you know, like good hard skills, which help me to create and to to speak about all technologies, all innovations to all world. That's why I think it's my opportunity to say to everyone that I have good experience, I have a team, and we can help to everyone to speak about nuclear energy in an easy way, because we know that terms in nuclear energy sometimes difficult to understand for society, and we need to explain and explain. It's important to use easy words. That's why we our expertise in our agency is about this, to to say about hard terms, hard topics to society in an easy way.
That's so important. I think you've really hit upon a really fundamental point in conversation when it comes to nuclear power. There is so much misunderstanding or lack of information. And so having someone that puts out the message in a clear, simple way, I think it's going to be fundamental to at least the understanding and then hopefully the adoption and advancement of the sector. Thank you for that, Renata.
Okay.
Alona, please tell us kind of a little bit of your day-to-day job.
My company, South Ukrainian PP, is one of the largest nuclear power plants in Ukraine and plays a key role in supporting energy security and low carbon electricity production. Our mission is to operate safely and reliably while moving toward modern digital solutions. So my work supports this mission by ensuring that critical data is delivered to operators in the right way at the right time. This helps maintain safely, improve operations, and support decision making. So this is my job, what I do at the main role in my company.
That's really, really interesting. And maybe tell us a little bit about what you said about cybersecurity, because that is a topic that I keep engaging investors on, especially when they are exploring the investment in new projects. Tell us a little bit about cybersecurity and what you do there.
So cybersecurity in nuclear field is a very important theme, and now we implement national requirements in our job to that this helps us to make our production of electricity safer, to know that all the threats are not will not have access to our facility.
Very interesting. And perhaps just one last follow-up question is, you mentioned you're at the South Ukraine nuclear power plant. Is this one of many nuclear power plants? If you can just kind of give us a high-level description of how many power plants there are. Obviously, we hear some of it in the news, but maybe just give us a high level of this is one out of how many projects.
So there are several nuclear power plants in Ukraine. As you know, the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe, Zavorotnia nuclear power plant, is now occupied by Russia. Next nuclear power plant is South Ukrainian nuclear power plant, where I work. It has 3 units. The other one is Humanitarian nuclear power plant. It has 2 units. And next one is Rivnenska nuclear power plant. And as I know, all of them have PWR reactors, PWR 1000, and Rivnenska. If Margaryta help me, please, about this information. Some blocks of Rivnenska nuclear power plant has different units, 2 or 1.
Yes, 2.
Two. It's PVR 440.
Brilliant. Gosh, that's more than anticipated. But sorry, were you going to say something more?
So all the units in Ukraine are PVRs, PWRs reactors.
Got it. Brilliant, brilliant. And that's a perfect segue to Margaryta. Firstly, tell us a little bit about your job itself, and WIN, just for the audience, is the acronym for Women in Nuclear. And so tell us a little bit about that role.
Yeah, so no matter my break as a government expert for nuclear issues, indeed, within these 5 years, WIN Ukraine and our team, I truly believe we did a lot, especially when the war started. So we moved, our head office moved to Vienna for 9 months to be engaged into the project called Voices of Ukraine, Volume 1. So within this project, we worked closely with Renata. And at that time, we realized that after my coming back to Kyiv, after finishing this project, we should do more here to support our colleagues, and we should not stop in conducting some projects connected with nuclear diplomacy, nuclear energy diplomacy, I would say, and strategic communications, of course. So WIN Ukraine, I believe, became a strong civil society voice in nuclear. And I know that based on the stories from that book, Voices of Ukraine, Volume 1, our colleagues from different permanent missions who worked in Vienna from different states, they used these stories, these testimonies when negotiation with Russia, when holding some meetings to give the response on Russians attacks on nuclear facilities of Ukraine. So This was quite a huge project. And then what we did here after my coming back to Ukraine, so with Renata, we established a very interesting project called, the name of the project is Empowering Radiance. So it's when culture and art connects with science and nuclear. So we gathered all our talented nuclear specialists who just, I don't know what they did. They made very beautiful handmade, things, items. They make beautiful pictures, I don't know, puzzles, whatever. So we organized this quite popular. Why popular? Because the government of Canada and lots of business companies, other civil society organizations, even Energatom and Ukrainian Nuclear Society. So we gather all together and we organized this beautiful installation, this beautiful exhibition, in the very heart of Kiev. And media, even US media, they wrote articles about this. So we gathered some donation for our women who serve in the armed forces of Ukraine, to help them. So throughout these years of war, we constantly addressed to the IAEA and Win Global with our letters about what is the current situation with nuclear sphere in Ukraine, and what is the effect of Russians invasion. Also, we created a documentary film about the occupation of Chornobyl exclusion zone of Russian. So we did quite a lot. We were engaged into this, and after completing my five-year term as president, we all decided that my leadership is transitioning to my colleague Alona Zavorotnia. And as I said, I'm returning to government service to support Ukraine's nuclear recovery. So this is all. This is all from my side. And also, just one thing to add. I'm your colleague, Doreen, in terms of I also have my bilingual YouTube and podcast in English, Above and Back, where I invite voices from Ukraine to tell about security, to tell about culture, investment, and so on, so on. So this is all from my side.
Goodness, that is just so much that you and the team has contributed. Perhaps what we can do is we will include the links in the notes and the comments for Voices of Ukraine, Empowering Radiance, and the documentary, and also of your podcast, so that the audience can follow on thereafter. Really, really fun, mind-blowing, as they say. And obviously, this podcast is typically talking about financing, where we look at what makes a technology or a project or a person so-called bankable. Could each of you just talk a little bit about your thoughts about, how investors should be coming to Ukraine and what makes it such a bankable solution, whether it's from a technology, project, or individual basis. Let me start first with you, Renata.
Thank you, Doreen. And what I want to say about this, that I think that Ukraine will become a place for big opportunities for investments, for different kind of projects, because after the win, we will need to recover our economy, to recover our infrastructure, especially energy infrastructure, because our facilities under drones and missile attacks of Russia, and also we need to recover all these units to recover our infrastructure, our civilian infrastructure. I think that Ukraine will become a big place for different kind of opportunity for investment, and it's interesting because I think we don't have any borders to use some technologies, innovations, AI technologies. That's why I think we will be open for everything, for different kind projects, and in the main important thing in this case that we have good base of experts in science, in some fields, agro, energy, I don't know, and cybersecurity as because we faced with different kind of challenges. That's why we have good experience in different challenges, and we can share with this experience with other experts from the world. I think that we need to start from right now to find little places where we can build some communication, some conversation to provide this investment in the future. And if someone from your listeners, from your followers, needs this help in this information, and that's all, and all everything this we can also help with this, because we know we have a big data of contacts of our experts, of our companies which wants to rebuild their business, which want to something recover, which wants to maximize their businesses and so on. That's why I think it will be great opportunity for both sides, for Ukraine and for that who wants to invest to Ukraine.
Incredible. I think the phrase that really got me there was about how you are open without borders, that sharing of knowledge, fundamental to just the advancement of science and technology, and to have that coming from a country that, is having its border challenged. It is just so, it demonstrates the foresight of the people. Incredible. And moving on to Alona, I think the fact that, what you do is, keeping a power plant going, as one of the many pieces in such a large operation is so admirable and encouraging. The other thing is, even when we met, you were talking already about cybersecurity. For me, that is one of the angles that does help with financing. So maybe from that sort of perspective, tell us a little bit more about how you use cybersecurity in your business, because I think that will help the investors link it to financing.
As for me, for my job, I help to implement cybersecurity rules for our NPP. And it mostly connected with some documentation to implement some instructions, some documents, plans to make this field of cybersecurity in a field of law. So
gosh, to make it by law needed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is my role at cybersecurity for now.
Incredible. And that is fundamental to financing, because we want to make sure, investors from the equity debt side are actively making sure that they are lending or investing their money into projects where unfortunately, cybersecurity could be at risk. Incredible. And if I move on to Margaryta, and jump in, ladies, if you also want to contribute to this. From an SMR perspective, so small modular reactor, how much are you seeing in Ukraine in terms of the conversation around SMRs, and obviously any sort of financing discussions that are being held there? Margaryta, first to you, and then the other two ladies, please jump in.
Yeah, thanks, Doreen, for this important question. So what I would like to point out here that the intersection of humanitarian impact, cutting edge technology, and of course, women's leadership is not just a vision. It's a strategic advantage, if I can say. So Ukraine's post-war recovery must be people-centered, innovation-driven, and inclusive. And in this regard, nuclear energy, especially SMRs, can lead this transformation. So I believe that we should be seeing, and we are already seeing, a shift in government policy toward new models of partnership with the private sector. So localizing SMR component production here, I think it's not it's not just a resilience strategy, but a unique industrial breakthrough opportunity. So this is the right moment to invest, not just in infrastructure, but like in people's talent, in local ecosystems, and I would say in a new generation of nuclear leadership.
Superb, incredible. Renata, Alona, do you want to add on anything on the SMR conversation?
Yes, I a little bit add information that yes, right now it's hard to discuss this question because if of lack information, because it's new technology, and first of all we need some regulatory and legislative changes in Ukraine, first of all. And second one, I agreed with Margaryta that we need to change some state and private cooperation. It will be, to build some care, maybe care, I can use this word, that care, care place for investment, because we know that it's new, and no one before this time use this technology. That's why the better way is state and private cooperation, which help to invest and will save money of investors, and also can give an opportunity to share this technology and to build SMR in Ukraine. And in Ukraine, is as I worked there, I energy sector. I have to say that we need SMRs, because some region, for example, Lviv region, Ivano-Frankivsk region, they are built a new places, new like tourism places, and they need more energy, and they need more electricity. And this region, I think, will be better for this SMRs, this type of energy, because it's small, it takes little place, and as we know, it's modular. That's why I think it's a great opportunity to Ukraine to continue this technology, to provide this technology. And I know that Energatom signed a number of memorandums with different companies as Westinghouse, Holte, Rolls-Royce, to provide this technology in Ukraine. That's why, and also I know that our energy company, private energy company, DTEC, they are also interested in SMRs. That's why I think it's a great opportunity for Ukraine to build this type of nuclear units, nuclear power plants, because we have, as I said, we have some regions that needs this type of energy.
Incredible. Alona, you have the opportunity to add if you want.
Yes, I want to say that Ukraine's nuclear sector has proven its strength even under extreme conditions. And we have qualified professionals, strong international partnerships, and clear motivation to modernize. Nuclear energy in Ukraine is not only stable, it's future oriented, and that's why I believe our nuclear future is full of potential. And for the SMRs, we should replace our old thermal power plant sites to make the energy without CO emissions.
Incredible, really, really incredible. So I suppose I have the answer to this question, but let me get you to answer it. Do you think what you are doing currently in your role makes nuclear in Ukraine bankable for investors and lenders? Let me go first to Margaryta, Renata, and Alona.
Yeah, very, very good question, Doreen. So what I would say here, talking about my future role and my coming back to the sphere and working with the State Agency of Ukraine on Exclusion Zone Management, I would like to point out that Chernobyl exclusion zone is the territory of unique experience and endless opportunities for any kind of the investment, of course, in the framework of radiation protection and physical security. So I know that it's not only the opportunity for instance, science, some scientific cooperation, but also for business, for instance, renewables, and whatever you want, even maybe in the nearest future for some agriculture activity. Why not? For the territories which have been already like remediated and cleared and cleaned. So why not use this opportunity? Why not write to the management of the exclusion zone and propose some business, maybe some feasibility studies and so on. And talking about the work of Win Ukraine, I believe it's also bankable, but in terms of how civil society organizations help governments and donors strengthen nuclear security, not only in Ukraine, but worldwide. So strengthening nuclear security is the key, not only for Ukraine, but as it turned out for the whole world, because Ukraine's case shows and demonstrates the, how nuclear security is vulnerable, and how we should, transform its architecture. So the old way of holding business may not work. So we all should unite and think how the new way of business would work, and why not, for instance, install SMRs in Chernobyl again. So lots of things to think for the future perspective and future business opportunities.
So effectively, so many unique opportunities, to use your phrase. That's really incredible to hear. And the same question about the bankability of Ukrainian nuclear to Renata, and then to you, Alona.
Wow, it's it's very sometimes it's very hard to speak about Ukraine because you want to say a lot of things because we have a lot of experience, we have a lot of experts, expertise, technologies, institutions, some regulators, also documents, and so on. I want that Ukraine will take part in some round, like table, and take the main place to develop nuclear energy in the world, to take in the main part in this way, to show how it works, how it will be works, because of different of kind challenges which we faced. That's why I think we will support all this. That's the Ukrainian women. That's why we will support this development of nuclear energy. We will help to, to speak about complex things in simple language with different kind of stakeholders. We will help to build trust to nuclear energy because it's a main thing. And it was my thesis at Win Global Conference that we need to speak about trust with our different stakeholders, and especially when we speak about nuclear energy. That's why I think it's a big future for our nuclear energy in Ukraine, and a big opportunity for investors also. As Margaryta says, great idea to build some SMR in the inclusion zone. I think it's great.
Incredible. Floor is yours, Alona.
I believe that the nuclear energy is not just about technology, it's about people, about Ukrainian people. And we can invest in people, especially in women and young professionals. We can invest in a better, safer, and more inclusive future for us.
Such meaningful between a statement there to close it off there. And obviously, I cannot end the podcast without recognizing that I'm sitting in London and the three of you are in Ukraine. And for the obvious reasons that, your safety is compromised, we have to ask each one of you, maybe tell us in a few words how your family is keeping safe, and what sentiments you have about the safety of where you are.
It's very sensitive topic, and I heard a lot of questions about how live our lives in Ukraine, and my answer for all of you, it's difficult. It's really difficult for us. It's stressful, but we don't wish to anyone to feel this. No, it's our history, and we will win.
Well done. Margaryta and Alona, you're next.
Yeah, it's very, Doreen, like typical question. And for us, the answer is also typical for us. I mean, for Renata and Alona, because we live under these conditions and circumstances every day. But for us, resilience is not just a concept. For us, resilience and stress resistance, it's everyday routine.
Yes.
So how we live with this? We try to keep our mental health strong with different kinds, I don't know, starting from like meditation via YouTube including some sports, just some coffee with biscuits. It also helps, and of course cleaning. Like a friend of mine just recently said, after a very difficult night attack with like sleepless hours at night, the next morning since 6 a.m. I start cleaning all my apartment, all my house, and this helps me. I see the clean, the clean room, and I sit down with coffee, I take a sip, and I understand life goes on no matter what. Head is clean, apartment is clean, and the sky is again clean. So let's live and let live.
Oh, incredible. And Alona, before I pass it on to you, because you and I spent a bit of time in London when you were here, and I remember after our meeting, I was just so inspired by how calm you are and how you were maximizing each day as you were describing it to me. So tell us a little bit, in that question about safety, just as an individual.
So I totally agree with Margaryta and Renata. Work become our routine, everyday routine. We hear every day, air are alert, and it become common to us. And as I said to you, we can pause our life. We cannot stop to live, to do our business, to work. So we improve ourselves like professional, like Ukrainian people, and we just continue to live our lives. And we know at this point of time, a difficult time for Ukraine, we know exactly the price of this life. So we appreciate for everything in our life.
Wow, that's particularly moving. So we come to the end of the podcast, and let me just give you the opportunity to say a closing remark or comment before we end, starting with Renata, Alona, and Margaryta. Go in order, please.
What I want to add in the end, that always no, what is help us also, it's humor, joke, fun, and it keep our minds also clean, also this feeling that you are live. And that's why don't forget about positive things. You need to like think about, first of all you need to think about positive, because it's a main thing in your life. Keep this and hold this positive, and you feel the life.
Alona.
My final comments. I want to thank you, Doreen, for this inviting for us to be part of this conversation. It's very, really important for us in Ukraine to stay connected to this international nuclear community and international society. It's very meaningful for us.
The privilege is mine, and for us that live outside, looking in. And Margaryta, you've got the final word.
Just my final word will be that in every crisis there is a crack, and through this crack the future enters. So after every night is the again sun is shining brightly and there is a daylight. So we should seek and we should see in every crisis, in every problem, in every like bad transformation, we should see the opportunity and the light, the opportunity to keep on going, the opportunity to live, the opportunity to invest, the opportunity to hold our like daily professional routine and so on. So my remark is to stay positive, to look for opportunities and to believe in the best future for yourself, your family, and maybe the world. And always remember that after every transformation, there is, like when the egg cracks, there is a small chicken afterwards. So
that's a fantastic image that you leave us with. Ladies, the privilege has been mine, and for the audience, I'm sure, as they listen to your in-depth knowledge on the nuclear sector, but giving us just a little glimmer of your life in Ukraine. And I have to say that the unique opportunities that each of you has described has come through very clearly, not just about your country and nuclear, but yourselves. The fact that you are so open, without borders, attracting international players, and just the three of you definitely showcasing that innovative talent that we come to see synonymous with your nation. So I wish you all safety, victory, and hopefully we get to speak in person very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
thank you, Doreen.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Bankable. For early access to energy transition pioneers and to learn how to structure the investment solutions described in this episode and throughout the series, subscribe to the podcast and get in contact at frescocleantech.solutions.